Well, he didn't screw up, that's for sure. I want to bring in defense attorney Parag Shah. He joins me live now. Parag, I want to bring you in on this while I also read some of the medical inconsistencies, because when we're talking about the forensic inconsistencies list, there's a pretty robust medical inconsistencies list as well. Let's start with the pattern of injuries. They seem to be inconsistent with a pipe coming through the windshield, at least according to one expert's testimony. Another expert said not so much. Lacerations were found on the back of Barb's head. How does that happen if the pipe comes through the windshield? There were neck injuries that seemed to be consistent with possible strangulation. Barb's fingernails were torn that suggested a possible physical struggle. And then the old standby, blood splatter. The patterns didn't seem to match the defendant's description of the accident. Parag, as a defense attorney, I know you could probably take each and every one of these forensics list and each of the entries on the medical list as well, and you could probably find something to fight. Am I right?
Yes, absolutely. And the main thing to think about here is the issue is not, is the state's theory possible? That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about whether the defense's theory is possible. If it's possible, then the jury must acquit. There is a story of innocence here, and the experts are battling with each other. But so far, every piece of evidence that I have heard has said what the defendant said is possible. The pipe can cause the injuries to the back of her head if she turned, which would be reasonable if she sees a pipe coming. A lot of the things that they're talking about adds credibility to the defendant. And what's the most important thing that the jury wants to know is, can I believe him? And when he took that stand, if the jury said to themselves, you know, I believe him, that means I believe that story of innocence, and therefore they're going to have to acquit him.
And you know what's interesting? We don't know about any domestic issues in their past. We don't know about any life insurance issues.
Motive is a big issue. Even though motive is not an element, but we always want to know why.
But you want it. As a juror, you sure want it. You may not think you have to prove it, you know, as a prosecutor, you don't have to prove motive, but the jurors really want it. And there's one more thing. They didn't seem to have any financial issues either. So clearly one of the questions I would think in cross they'd want to hammer away at is that he was violent. And listen to how that went. Listen to how that cross-examination got slightly contentious. And again, how Todd was able to handle it. Take a look. It's a soundbite number 7.
Mr. Canham.